Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If I told you everyone should learn something about Taekwondo or should learn a martial art, would you agree with me? Stick around and I'll tell you why I think this. Hi guys, I'm Chris. I am the instructor and founder of Creative Ways Taekwondo based in Milton Keynes. Myself and my team of instructors teach children and adults in Milton Keynes how to do Taekwondo. So today's video I'm going to give you a little bit of a history around the club and a little bit of history around me and my Taekwondo journey so far. I think it's really important for anyone looking to start Taekwondo, be it for a child or an adult, to know what they're getting themselves into and know exactly what they're investing their time into. Now the reason I said time is because learning Taekwondo is exactly that. It's an investment. There's a financial investment for sure, definitely, but the more important or the most important part is the time invested. And I think a lot of people fail to see that when they first look at a club or first go to a free trial of a lesson. They look at the cost of the lesson or cost of the monthly training and cost of the uniform or the dobok or whatever it might be, and they forget about the amount of time that they're going to need to invest. And that's one thing that I think that is really important, and the ethos of a club and the history behind the club is also a massive part of this. So what is Creative Ways Taekwondo and where did it start? Quick history 101 with me. So I started Creative Ways Taekwondo 11 years ago. I started learning Taekwondo when I was 13 years old, and I'm now, I'm not going there. Taekwondo has helped shape my life as an adult in so many ways. It's helped me to be disciplined and to complete goals and basically achieve certain things that I set my mind to. So definitely Taekwondo's helped that. And I kind of approached the belt system in the same way. So I made sure that I was always 110% ready for every grade that I went for. And if I didn't feel ready, then I made sure that I kind of held myself back and didn't even go for the grading until I inside felt confident that I would be able to meet all the criteria and kind of exceed expectations. And that's kind of a similar thing of what I've done throughout my life and my job and my career. I always try and kind of do the very best and more kind of go overachieve it as much as I can. And I think Taekwondo's massively helped me to do that within my life. Taekwondo's helped me to become more confident, definitely, 100%. There's other things in life that have also helped me become confident and kind of going out of your comfort zone. So doing things at work and going into kind of more important meetings and things like that, but kind of putting yourself out there makes you more confident and getting out of that comfort zone. And Taekwondo definitely gets you out of your comfort zone. There's times when I was learning Taekwondo that you get singled out or picked out to come and perform a technique out in front of the class, in front of everyone else. And the reason you're being picked is a great reason, like you're doing that technique really well. But that doesn't stop like the inside of you dying inside because you're being watched by 25 other students or 30 other students, or at a big seminar, maybe 100 other students. So straight away, your heart's going crazy and you feel nervous straight away, bang, nervous. Doing a pumse in front of a massive group of people, and then when you're doing your grading, if you're singled out in a grading to come up and just do one technique or do your pumse, your pattern, that kind of stuff puts people out of their comfort zone. There's not a lot of people that kind of love that feeling. So doing that more regularly, and the more you do it and the more you push yourself out of that comfort zone or push yourself into that kind of area where you feel uncomfortable, the more you inside learn how to cope with it, essentially. Pushing yourself out of that comfort zone is basically the place where you're going to grow. You're going to grow the most when you're outside of your comfort zone. And Taekwondo, there's plenty of opportunity in Taekwondo that for everybody pretty much. I can't think of a single student that hasn't grown in confidence from day one of their lessons, essentially. And even just not necessarily pushing that comfort zone, but that good feedback that you get when you complete a technique correctly and your instructor tells you, oh, you're doing that really well. That's not what's the word for it? It's not like a big-headed boost. It's a morale boost. It's oh, I'm doing things right, and that reassurance, if you like, gives you that confidence inside. And when that keeps happening and you keep getting told you're doing this well, you're doing that well, you're doing that technique well, the way you're doing this is fantastic, then that helps build that individual's confidence up, and they start to then grow and shine. And it doesn't just affect Taekwondo, so it's not just going to be in that lesson. They come through the door, bow on the way in, and that's it, they switch into a different person. That confidence then goes back out the door with them, back out of the dojo with them, and it goes to school the next day, or it goes to work the next day. And over time, that confidence grows and grows, and then you end up being a more confident individual. And more confident people, generally, they get more opportunity in life, and they seem to succeed and learn how to work with those goals. So that's one of the reasons why I think doing Taekwondo, or doing any martial art, or anything in a group where you kind of learning in an environment where you can grow in a safe place. And I think Taekwondo for me definitely was that when I was growing up, 100%. Okay, so for me, growing up with Taekwondo, or learning Taekwondo from a fairly early age, 13 is not early, to be fair. I started quite late comparative to a lot of my students, and a lot of the people around me, really, when I was learning. A lot of the students in the club were quite a bit younger as well, but then again there were some that obviously were quite older, but 13 is not an early time to start. So one thing Taekwondo definitely did for me, starting at the age that I did, 13, I just started secondary school, and for me it kind of helped me mature quite quickly. And for me personally, that was a really good thing. I was around slightly older people whilst I was training. So I was 13, but I was probably training with people that were between kind of 15 and 25. And realistically, it made me grow up a little bit quicker, and made me mature a bit faster. And that for me was a good thing at the time, 100%, without a doubt. I ended up settling down a little bit quicker and kind of getting through life a little bit quicker, I think. And I definitely think that was down to Taekwondo and kind of being surrounded by people that were more mature, essentially. And that maturity has also helped me throughout life, because when you mature quicker, you learn how to communicate better, and obviously better communication's never a bad thing. It's definitely good to communicate well, so yeah, that massively helped. I got my black belt at age 19, so really it was quite late. It was 6 years between starting age 13 and get my black belt at age 19. But like I said, I wasn't in a rush. I wanted to make sure that every single grading that I did, I was at the top of my game, essentially, and that I completely smashed it. And hand on heart, I can 100% say that every single grading that I did, absolutely smashed. And that for me is something that kind of, I think it's a personal thing for everybody. Everyone's different. There's a lot of people that kind of are ready to grade and actually they're not, and you have to have that conversation with them. And then you get others that are kind of defiant, and they're kind of, oh, I'm not ready to grade, but they're absolutely smashing it. And it's kind of finding that balance. Essentially, I just didn't want to get a low pass for any of my gradings. I wanted to make sure I always had a high pass, always going above and beyond, and kind of going to a lot of different clubs, a lot of different training seminars and sessions. It gave me a real kind of good insight as to what level I was at every time, and that's why it took me that little bit longer. I probably could have done it quicker, but like I said, I wasn't in a rush. For me, I was kind of always into Taekwondo because I enjoyed it. I kind of been in it for the long game, really, as opposed to just getting my black belt. It's a massive thing for me when I got my black belt. Kind of, it made such a difference and such a boost in confidence and morale and stuff like that. So there's so many people that will start a club, start learning how to do Taekwondo, get to such a good level, such a good point, do the black belt, and then that's it, finished. Never see him again. And it's so sad, because a lot of the people that do that would end up being kind of really good instructors, or could potentially go on and do some competing for either sparring competitions or pumse competitions, or maybe they'd just kind of be really good as basically really good instructors, or just really good assets to have within a club. And it's such a shame that people get to a certain point or get to a certain level and then just fall off and just leave. That's it. Some people end up coming back and returning in the future, but it does happen quite regularly that lots of people get their first stands and then leave. And then even less people obviously don't even just get the black belts, don't even achieve it because they leave before. And that's kind of what I was talking about with that investment. So that investment in time, it takes time, and energy and discipline, and to get your black belt's a massive achievement. So if you're watching this, you've got a black belt, well done. If you've got a second dan, then you're in a very vast minority. Anything above that, then you're super special, gonna be honest. So I started Creative Ways Taekwondo 11 years ago, and the main reasons that I started to teach Taekwondo is because I wanted to give the opportunity that I had when I was growing up to others, essentially. So my eldest son, now who's taller than me nearly, I think, he's 17, is learning to drive. He's actually doing a really good job, bless him. Anyway, he got into Taekwondo as well at an early age. He started at sort of age 4, and yeah, he's obviously done really well throughout life as well so far, and throughout his Taekwondo life. But I wanted to kind of just give back that opportunity to others, and I've really enjoyed everything that I've done so far, opening and starting Creative Ways Taekwondo. I've taught so many different people so far. I'm just really kind of humbled to have the club that I've got, and I'm really pleased that the instructors that we've got in the club now, and just basically where the club's at. And obviously at the moment, we're obviously during COVID-19, global pandemic. Everything's a little bit up in the air. It's probably the simplest way to put it, but I know that when everything does go back to normal, and we're allowed to go back to the halls, and we're allowed to do contact sparring again, that pretty much it's going to kind of just carry on from where it had left off. And that for me is absolutely amazing, and also I just can't wait to get back to get to that level where we can get back into doing training sessions and back to contact, and working together and doing pad work and all that kind of stuff, so that we can essentially help more people. And that's what it's all about, is kind of building those individuals, gaining their confidence, seeing people change. The amount of times over the years that kind of parents have come up to me and said, oh, you know, so and so, like their son or their daughter or whatever, is like been doing Taekwondo now for 4 or 5 months, and they've just completely changed for the better, and they're more confident now, and their circle of friends at school's growing, and you know, they're putting themselves out there, they're doing the stuff on sports day, and they're taking part in PE and joining the football club and teams and stuff like this, where their confidence is growing. And that's what it's all about. It's basically about, for me anyway, it's about making a positive impact on other people's lives. And Taekwondo did it for me, and that's kind of why I'm teaching and giving back, so that I can do it for others. Okay guys, on a side note, one little tip that I would like to give people: if you're looking for a club, be it Taekwondo, martial arts, athletics club, football club, no matter what it is, don't just look at the monthly price tag or the cost. Always kind of look a little bit deeper, see the history of the club, what it's all about, what the core values are, and speak to a few other members of the club and find out what it's like, what kind of things that they do on a regular basis, and you'll get a real good feeling as to what the club's all about, and see if those kind of core values that come out of those questions and those conversations match kind of the things you're looking for, because every club's different and not every club is for everyone. Okay, so definitely ask those questions before you kind of just decide on a club based on a price tag. So guys, thanks for watching. That's the experience that I've had so far throughout my life in Taekwondo, and my teaching life in Taekwondo as well as a coach. Teaching 7, 11, 13, 55-year-olds, it doesn't matter, okay? It's just really important that you're passing on that knowledge. So let me know as well whether you agree with my statement at the start. Should everyone do Taekwondo or a martial art? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, click subscribe, click the thumbs up if you like this video. I'll keep creating new ways to grow, educate and develop. Thanks for watching.